Hey guys, welcome to my entrepreneur video and journey. You're going to see the ins and the outs of what it takes for Bessie Lee Capel to be the entrepreneur that I am today. This little guy is the beginning of this entrepreneur journey for me. I always knew I wanted to be something great for all three of my children, but I never knew that it would take this little creature right here next to me to start that journey. This little man, he was receiving breast milk up until the age of about 7 months, but he didn't take well to the breast, so he was bottle fed a lot. And even up until the age of 1, he was still on a regular bottle. He didn't transition to a sippy cup until maybe 1.5, closer to 2. April 26, 2019, 5:19 p.m. after work hours, I decided enough is enough of washing bottles and being splashed back on. So I decided to create something. I started using his bibs, but then that didn't work because they would remain soaked, but they did prevent a little bit of splashback. So I went and bought a yoga mat from Five Below, cut a little hole in it to see if it would work as a barrier. To my surprise, it seemed to have pretty much done the trick. Here it is on one of my brushes. I was sort of kind of amazed. I just started using it and, pushing it forward and seeing how it would really work. But as you can see, there's like a tear right at the diameter of it. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. I like how it surrounded the brush to prevent the splashback, but it was just too big and too bulky and ultimately too thick. I started to analyze my barrier with the brush inside the bottle, how it would be used, how it would look, how big it is, how bulky it is, just the changes and adjustments I needed to make. I started to really envision what I wanted my brush bit, my new development, to look like and be like for the comfort of not just myself, but for others. And these are real life pictures from 2019. This journey is far from easy. I mean, as you can see, May 19, 2019, 7:19 p.m., still doing mommy duties, mom of 3, making homemade baby food for my infant at the time because he had a lot of allergies. So I tried to make sure I gave him the most natural foods as possible. I mentioned a lot of times before and a lot of interviews I had that my youngest is a NICU baby and he also has a dairy allergy. So I had to be very diligent in what I choose for him to eat. So this is just pretty much showing you that I had to buy, I believe it's not butter, can't believe it's not butter, coconut oil. He also drank oat milk. So I had to make a lot of changes in my lifestyle in my household for all of us. Not only do I prepare, food for my husband and my 2 older children, but having to prepare baby food as well was just an added task. But as a mom, a mompreneur, a full-time worker, a social worker, a wife, you have to do what you have to do. In the midst of me being a mom, a wife, I was also a sister-in-law, planning graduation parties, all while still trying to figure out this new development. And I can't forget that at that time, my 10-year-old at the time, she dislocated or fractured her elbow and had to get a cast put on. And she was still going through gymnastics season at the time. I mean, what a time to have all this working, you having a development of a product and planning a graduation party. You have 3 children, a wife, a full-time job. It was just a lot. I sit here at my desk at work, just stressing, but smiling in front of others, but really thinking, what am I doing? Can I do this? Should I do this? Do I continue or stop? Just try to be normal, in air quotes, regular, in air quotes. Just keep on working my 9 to 5 and forget about developing anything to solve a problem. What do I do? What I did was took out a blank sheet of paper and drew what I wanted to look like. My first flyer. Now, please do not laugh too hard at my drawings, because I am far from an artist, I want to say, but I didn't stop. I knew this was going to be something, so I kept going. My daughter successfully completed a gymnastics season, even with a cast. I mean, she surprised us all. She even got a shout out from the ladies on the Real talk show. It was amazing. I came home from work and I also started working on my nonprofit organization I started to develop called Helping Our Shelters Incorporated. Me and a group of wonderful social workers at my job all decided, let's do this. So on top of trying to start a product, or introduce the product, or get the product proper, I also was working on a nonprofit organization that I was pretty much the president of. I mean, I don't know what I be thinking sometimes, but I feel like at this point in my life, there's nothing I can't do. Speaking of nothing I can't do, I decided to start doing my daughter's hair instead of sending her to the salon to save on money, to save for products and materials and everything I would need to try to bring this new product to life. She wasn't the only one getting a homemade hairstyle. I did my own too. And not so bad, I might say. Back to the drawing board and planning. It started in April, and here we are in July. Months later with all the chaos in between, and I finally decided on a proper material, silicone. Here I am on my kitchen table, trying to draw the proper size and measured brush bit, and it came out not too bad. Once a friend of mine recommended that I actually start marketing my product and selling it, I decided to get very serious. So I started trying different types of silicone, a thicker one, a thinner one. The blue one is a thinner one, but both of them were very expensive. So I said there has to be a different solution. I have to figure something out. I have to get a material that's similar but not as expensive. And then also the thinner one ripped really easily. I mean, my wheels were spinning. But you're going to see more. On the next episode, you'll see the new material that I use, how I made it, the colors I made them in. I may even tell you how much it cost me to make it. You're going to see videos of me vending. Throughout this entire journey, you're going to see the ups and downs, the crying, the laughter, the bank accounts, good and or bad. Just stay tuned and take this ride for my journey. Until next week, we'll be back.